Hey everybody, welcome to Scotty's Record Shop on YouTube. This video is going to be vinyl finds for last month, which was September. Most of this month is going to be focusing on finishing or getting some of the Christmas records that I wanted to get so that I could do a Christmas video in December. I'm going to blow through these kind of quick. I don't usually collect 12-inch singles, but this was in a pile of Yes records that I'd gotten. Leave It. Which has several different mixes, including an a cappella version of Leave It, which is great. Used to get played on the radio up here in Maine quite a bit. An early album from Brewer and Sheffley, who did One Toke Over the Line. This wasn't the record, this was the record before that, I believe. But a great record from them, kind of country rockish if I had to label them. This is an odd record, but a good record. Switched on Bach. This is all classical music done on the Moog synthesizer. This was really the album that kind of helped popularize the Moog synthesizer, something that was really big and expensive at the time. The Mini Moog hadn't come out yet, so something that Emerson, Lake and Palmer, a lot of other bands would end up using that. The first Carly Simon record. That's the way I've always heard it should be. What it was the hit single off that, a great record. Trying to collect a little more of Carly Simon stuff as well. Henry Gross, Release. This is the album with his big hit single Shannon, song about a dog, and Springtime Mama, another not as much of a big hit, but a great song, Beach Boys-y, kind of Beatle-ish kind of sounding. Great record from Henry Gross. The other Brewer and Sheffley album, this one I believe this was the one that had One Toke Over the Line and Tokyo Road. A great record from them. I have this Triumph album, but it's not a gatefold. I saw this in a gatefold cover. I'd never seen a gatefold before. Great Triumph record, 1979, Just a Game. Kind of the record that kind of broke them here in America a little bit, for the most part. Great record. Like Triumph a lot. Suzie Quatro, whose probably biggest claim to fame was Pinky Tuscadero on Happy Days, but big in Europe. She had one big hit here in America. It came off this record, If You Knew Susie, the song Stumbling In from, what, 1978, I believe, 79, on RSO Records. Early 80s for Red Rider, whoops, Lunatic Fringe was the name, was the one song that we used to play when I worked in radio back then. I never listened to the rest of this album, and I haven't gotten a chance to yet, but Lunatic Fringe was the one that we always played off of this particular record. And I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I figured, you know, it was a buck. I'll pick it up. For Jackson and Jill, 1968, a group from South Africa. They had a one hit called Master Jack. It was a cool song on RCA, old RCA label. Good record. Again, a buck. I was going to go for it. Apollo 11, their one big hit was Joy, title track of the album. They just kind of reworked a lot of classical pieces, kind of modernized them. It's a cool record too. The first two records from Mark Lindsay, who was the lead singer for Paul Revere and the Raiders. He had a couple of really big hits and some minor hits on the Columbia record label. In 1970, both these albums came out in 70. Again, for a buck, I couldn't go wrong. They were in good shape. I didn't have them, so. Simon and Garfunkel live at Central Park. This record, I think, was recorded in 81. It came out, I think, in early 82, maybe. But that big HBO special, Wake Up Little Susie, was the big single off this. It's a great record, though, double album for Simon and Garfunkel. Bob Dylan, Nashville Skyline, Lay Lady Lay. This is a good record. If you don't mind Bob Dylan having a country feel to him, and I don't, so it's a great record. Original, what was it? Red and white capital. Columbia, I'm sorry, pressing on that one from 69. Had this on CD, but hadn't had it on vinyl for years. Picked it up. Deep Purple, Made in Japan. Great live record from 1973. Okay. Cashman West. This record had the song American City Suite, which is a little longer on the album than the single. If you ever hear it on the radio at all, you hear the single, but saw it for $1 and I thought I'd take a chance. It's a great record. So 1972 for that one. John Miles, Rebel. This is a great record produced by Alan Parsons. High Fly and Music were the singles here in America off that. It's just a really good record. If you like Alan Parsons, the sound that he has when he produces stuff, you will love this record. This guy just died a couple of weeks ago, Joe South. Big hit for him was Games People Play. This had Walk a Mile in My Shoes, though, the next single, 1970 for this record. Saw it, and I didn't have anything by him other than singles, so I thought the heck with it. This is an interesting record put out by CBS News about 1960, well, actually 1970, I believe, just chronicling the landing on the moon and everything in the 60s that it took to get up there in late 50s. Hosted by Walter Cronkite. It's a really cool historical record. I paid hardly anything for it, and 2 days after I bought it for like nothing, Neil Armstrong passed away. And so the value of this went up a little bit. So it was kind of too bad for that he passed away, but it's cool that it kind of happened that way. Golden Earring. Moontan. Everybody knows this record because of Radar Love. I didn't have that record, so I didn't have it, so I figured I'd buy it for $1. People in Maine would recognize this record, The Blend, their first record. I'm going to do a Maine music segment sometime where I'm going to show a lot of the stuff that I have from Maine artists. These guys were signed to MCA and had a minor hit with Hope You Find Something, I believe it was. But a good record. One of their first, they put 2 records out. But okay, Joan Baez, Diamonds and Rust. I didn't have this on album, so I figured I'd pick it up. Great record. 1974, I believe, on A&M. And last one, hopefully I haven't gone over, to change the style a little bit, Natalie Cole and Unforgettable, double album, her paying tribute to her daddy, Nat King Cole. And of course they share vocals on the song Unforgettable. So that's just some of the stuff that I got in September. I did get more than that, but time doesn't allow me to show it, and maybe some other video. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. Until next time, everybody. Peace and love.